So, welcome everybody. I'm Annalisa. Welcome to yoga. Um, have a folded blanket or a cushion nearby. That's always, you don't have to, but it can always be a more comfortable experience if you have one, just in case you need it. So, go ahead and grab that. And if you like, you can sit on the edge of it with your sit bones right at the front edge so you get a little bit of height that can help the spine be a little bit more straight. You can experiment with different heights. You can even fold it a couple more times just to get some more height and find a comfortable position. You can be cross-legged, you could keep one leg out, you could keep both legs out. You could even be lying on your back. So just find something that feels right for you today. And let's close our eyes or take a downward gaze and just start to center ourselves. First, just taking a few breaths to adjust to this new situation that we're in right now. Maybe give yourself a little scan from head to toe, just checking in with how you're feeling today. And then see if you can relax your shoulders and check in with your face, your facial muscles, and let your forehead and your brow grow smooth, releasing any tension that could be there. Sometimes just relaxing around the face can let the rest of the body relax. So around the nose, the cheeks, and then let your jaw open up your mouth and move your jaw a little bit from side to side and up and down. And then let your jaw come to rest and let your lips close together and let your teeth be slightly apart. So you have kind of a nice neutral jaw. And then start to lengthen the inhales and the exhales, getting a little bit deeper breath each time. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm starting to notice now where your body is contacting the mat. And starting to feel the clothes where they touch your skin. And feeling the air where it touches your skin. And bring one hand to the center of your chest and feel the warmth of your hand as it touches your body. And maybe even feeling your heartbeat. feeling your chest rise and fall as you breathe. And taking your awareness now to your mind and noticing any of the thoughts, feelings, or emotions that might be there, and just acknowledging them, letting them be. And then with your hands still over your heart space, just allow the moment to be just as it is. And allowing yourself to be just as you are. You can keep your hand over your heart or you can bring it back down. And let's take 3 deep breaths in together. Breathing in and breathing out, letting everything out. Breathe in and let everything out. And once more, in and breathe out. If your eyes were closed, let them open. And if you're sitting up and you were sitting on anything, move it out of the way. And go ahead and let's roll ourselves down onto the mat, onto our backs. Inhale, bring the arms over the head, and you can breathe here as you reach the fingertips to the wall behind you and stretch the soles of the feet to the wall in front of you. Wriggling around a little bit, finding some length here. And then bring your arms down by your sides, bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet onto the floor, and then raise your feet up off the floor and up towards the ceiling. And begin to point and flex your feet and toes. And then take your toes in a circle on the ceiling, taking those ankles through a full range of motion. And then go the other way. Give them a little bit of a shake, and then bend and straighten your legs at your knees. Starting to feel like all the legs are starting to warm up, get some movement. And then the next time those legs bend, bring the feet, the soles of the feet back down onto the floor, and then raise your left foot up off the floor and start to make some circles with your knee in the air, moving from the hip, taking your hip through a full range of motion. Now, starting with this, start to listen to your body. I mean, hopefully you listen to your body all the time, but you know your body the best. And so now change directions. And you know your body the best, so listen to it and make sure that you do movements that your body loves. So if your body doesn't love a movement, or you feel like, you know what, I need to make this smaller or make it bigger, make it smaller or bigger. So now, next time the ankle comes around, let it cross over the right thigh just above the knee and lift your right foot up off the floor. And if you like, you can bring your hands behind the right thigh. Inhale and exhale and gently draw the knee closer in towards the torso. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe even gently let the head Roll from side to side. And then let it come back to center. Release those hands and bring the feet back down to the floor. Soles of the feet on the floor. Take a pause here. Just notice how your body feels. And then lift your right foot up off the floor and begin to make some circles with the right knee in the air, bringing the movement from the hip, taking the hip through a full range of motion. And then change directions. And the next time that ankle comes around, let it cross over your left thigh just above the knee. Raise your left foot up off the floor, raising your knee towards the ceiling. And if you like, you can find a place for your hands behind the left leg. Inhale and exhale, and perhaps gently draw the left knee a little bit closer towards the torso. Breathing. Again, perhaps moving the head slightly from side to side. Letting that return back to center. And release your hands. Bring the feet back down to the floor. Take your feet out a little bit wider than hip or pelvis width. And then inhale and exhale. Let your left knee drop down towards the floor, towards the middle, towards your midline. And then inhale, lift up. Inhale and exhale. Let the other knee drop in towards the midline. Inhale to center, and then move from side to side, starting to feel the hips warming up, the hips perhaps getting moved in a way that they don't normally. And then bringing that motion to a close, kind of heel toe the feet back in towards the center. Raise your feet up off the floor, bring the knees in, and then bring your forehead in towards your knees, holding on to the shins with your hands, or maybe wrapping your arms around the legs, and rock a little bit from side to side. Now inhale and exhale, let the upper body drop back down to the floor. Keep your legs where they are, and then bend your elbows, bring your upper arms on the floor, and with the elbows bent, take the fingers back to point behind you. So you kind of have goalpost arms, cactus arms. And then inhale and exhale, let your lower body, your knees, go over to one side, coming into a little bit of a twist. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, knees and lower body go over towards the other side. Inhale to center, exhale, knees go over towards the first side. Inhale to center, exhale, knees go over to the second side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, curl up into the tight ball. Again, rocking a little bit from side to side if that feels nice for you. And then if it feels okay on your spine, see if you can create a little forward and back rock. But if it's too hard underneath your back, you don't want to hurt your spine. So we can just rock, roll, or press ourselves up to a seated position, finding a comfortable seat. And then inhale, lift your right arm up, and then walking your left arm out a little bit, reach over towards the left. And take a few breaths here. You can have a little bend in the elbow of the left arm. And breathe into the side body. And then inhale, come up, and then exhale, bring the right arm down, and then inhale, lift the left arm up. And then as you exhale, perhaps walk the left finger, or excuse me, the right fingertips up a little bit, out a little bit, sorry. And then feel the stretch on the left side. Maybe moving the head a little bit, releasing any tension that might be in the neck. And then inhale, lift up, exhale, let the left arm come down. Now take your right arm up and around, place it on the left knee, and then lift your left arm up and then a little bit behind you, coming into a twist. And breathe here. On each inhale, can you feel maybe a little bit more expansion than the previous breath? And then unwind that. Kind of wriggle around a little bit, coming back to center. And then lift your left arm up, bring it over to the right knee. And then lift your right arm up and bring it around to the side or to behind you and come into a twist. And again here, take a few breaths and see if you can feel some expansion all around. And then unwind, give a little shake, a little wiggle, and take your chin and bring it down towards your chest, towards your collarbone. See if you can just let it hang there. Let your head hang. And perhaps start to feel some length in the back of the neck. This might be quite enough, but if you would like to try this next thing, take your hands, bring them up behind the back of the head, and interlace your fingers. And just without pressing, just gently allow the weight of your hands to perhaps direct the head, the chin down a little bit more. So you're not trying to press, you're just sort of letting your hands just lightly rest on the back of the head, just creating a little bit more on the back of the head. And then perhaps here you start to gently shake your head no. And this is a very slow shake. No, I wouldn't even call it, I would say turn your head as if you were making a no. Just starting to explore the feeling in the back of the neck. Backing off if it feels painful or if it feels like, you know what, that might just be a little bit too much, even if I haven't gotten to pain yet. And then letting the hands come back down, keeping the head where it is, perhaps explore a little bit more movement. You can decide, you can maybe take the ear a little bit more towards one shoulder and then come back to center and then towards the other. Explore what you are needing right now. And if that should be coming up and out of this, then follow that. Take a couple more breaths here. I'm just giving you some suggestions of some things you can try, but you can always feel free to do something different. All right, one more breath. And then slowly let your head come back up to face forward. Take a breath and notice how things feel in this more upright position. Now, make some shoulder rolls here. Starting to release some tension through the upper back. Warm things up. And then go the other direction. Let that come to a close. And bring your arms out to shoulder height. And then check in with your shoulders here. Do they feel like your shoulders are rolling forward? If they do, see if you can slightly turn the shoulders just a little bit, not popping your chest forward, but see if you can kind of turn the knob of your shoulder bone just a little, to create a little bit more openness. See if you can create a little bit more motion towards the back. And let's go ahead and turn our palms towards the ceiling. That actually might help a little bit. And with our palms towards the ceiling, reach the fingertips towards the opposite walls. And then keeping this open feeling through the shoulders, let the palms turn down and let the wrists flex so the fingertips press towards the ceiling, or the fingertips point towards the ceiling. Your palms are facing away. I'm sure you probably feel this through the hands, through the forearms. Now let the wrists bend the opposite way, turning the fingertips down. So now you're pressing the wrists towards the opposite walls. At any time, feel free to drop out of this, give a little shake, because this is going to be, I know I feel it in my shoulders. So this is going to be strengthening some of these tiny muscles in the shoulders. So then tip the fingertips back up again. Keep breathing. And if you feel tingling, then give another shake out as well, and then come back. You can also keep a gentle bend in the shoulders, or in the elbows. And then take the fingertips down, and take the fingertips up, and fingertips down. Now turn the fingertips forward and start to bring the hands in. So the fingers, it's as if you were going to hug a tree, or hug a globe, or hug the biggest tree that you can find. And so start to feel some expansion in your shoulder blades, and maybe even some expansion right at the shoulders where they meet your rib cage area. Feel some extension. So you're reaching out and around, but your fingertips aren't going to touch. Let the shoulders be down away from your ears. Soften the head and neck. Maybe give a little movement. Breathe. Inhale, open the arms out wide, and then exhale, come in for that big globe hug. Maybe channel your inner ballet dancer. Imagine this graceful arm position. Reach the head a little bit taller. And on your next inhale, open the arms out. Again, remember you can shake the arms out at any time. And then exhale, come back in. Check in to your shoulder blades, into your back. See if you can feel them maybe a little bit farther apart. And then let your shoulders drop, let your arms drop, give a little shake, whatever kind of shake you need. Shake out the hands and wrists, shake out the shoulders. Notice this feeling. And then pause for a moment. And then take your arms out to the sides again. Tip the fingertips up, bending at the wrists. And then start to move the arms up over your head and see if you can interlace your fingers, maybe even without looking at them. Can you interlace your fingers? And now your hands might not be directly over top of you, because you want to keep the lower ribs down. So if you thrust your chest out to be like, oh, look, my hands are over my head, see if you can bring the ribs down a little bit, creating kind of a nice up and down spine. So if you look, so it feels like that's working for me. I feel like I have my ribs down. I'm just going to turn. So see, I'm not fully over. I might have to actually thrust the ribs out. So see if you can just find some space here, perhaps pressing the palms out away from you. And see if you can soften the shoulders a little bit, soften the head and neck. Again, shaking out if you need to, coming back when you can. And then release that, bring the hands down, tip the fingertips down, and then come on down and shake. And come back to center. Just let the ear come over towards the shoulder, perhaps right ear to right shoulder, and back to center, and left ear to left shoulder, and back to center. And give another shake out here, just shaking everything out. Feel free to do this whenever you'd like. Even bring the legs out in front of you and give the legs a little bit of a shake. You can bend and straighten the knees, give a little windshield wiper. All right, let's come to our hands and knees. And if you like, you can bring the cushion or the blanket over and place your knees on there. Also, if your wrists tend to be fussy, you can roll the mat back a little bit, or if you have another blanket or a cushion, you can create a little bit of height under the wrists so that you don't have quite as much of a wrist flexion. But try to bring shoulders over the wrists and knees under the hips. And let's just warm up the spine a little bit more. So inhale, let the belly drop down, the chin and tailbone lift. And then exhale, round the spine up towards the ceiling and the chin and tailbone tuck. Inhale, belly drops down. Exhale, spine rounds towards the ceiling. So take a few breaths and move through this little cat-dog flow. The dog being when we drop our bellies down, you can imagine wagging your tail happily. And the cat being when we round our spine towards the ceiling, almost like a Halloween cat. So take a few breaths here. Think about your spine. Think about it moving. Think about all the little vertebrae and how you'd like to create a little bit more space and movement between each one. And then come back to a neutral spine and sit back on your heels for a moment. Give a little shake out. Maybe rolling the shoulders one way and then the other way. And then coming back to hands and knees. we're going to take our awareness in between the shoulder blades again. And first allow yourself, keep your arms straight, and then see if you can allow your body to just kind of sink through, your upper body to sink through your shoulders and arms. So it's almost as if your shoulder blades are touching. Now, press the mat, press the floor away from you as you rise up from between the arms, between the shoulders, and you feel the shoulder blades drawing wider apart. Sink back down carefully, and then press away, feeling the expansion. Not quite rounding the back, but just feel the spine be long, but feel this movement. And so you can come down and up, doing some shoulder blade push-ups. You might not get a lot of movement, and it might even be a little confusing, but even just trying the movement, even a little bit of movement is still motion, it's still the movement, it's waking things up that maybe have not quite been online. Now, come on down to your forearms. Bring your elbows beneath your shoulders and let your palms face towards the ceiling, and pressing your elbows into the floor. Feel that lifting up out of the shoulders, the space there. And then see if you can press your wrists into the mat. And then see if you can press your fingertips into the mat as well. And maybe even pressing the thumbs. So this is going to be a lot in the shoulders. You're going to feel this. You may even feel this a little bit later, but we're doing some strengthening. I'm just going to have you keep nice, healthy shoulders. And so release that, come back up, sit back on your heels, give a little bit of a shake. Shake out through the hands, through the wrists, through the shoulders. Come back to hands and knees, and curl your toes under, and then press the floor away from you, finding that space. And even, actually, press the floor away, bend your elbows a little out to the side, and then allow the elbows to hug in. So now, you can't see my elbow pits or the inside of the elbows, but allow them to face forward. And so you'll feel all around the shoulder blades, all around the armpits, you'll feel them be nice and strong. And so with your fingertips, or excuse me, your toes curled under, press the floor away from you, press into the toes, and lift your hips up. Coming back into a downward dog. Now with this strong position of the shoulders, you may not come back quite as far, and that's okay. Breathe, see if you can let the head and neck be soft and relaxed. Take a breath here, and then start to walk your feet towards your hands or your hands to your feet. And then keeping some bend in the knees, you can move your feet a little bit out, and then take a hold of the opposite elbows and hang here like a rag doll. Add a little bit of a shake for the upper body, just to feel yourself hanging long and loose. And breathe here. Maybe bending the opposite, or excuse me, alternate bending knees. There we go. And then let your hands, your fingers come down, and then However feels good, bend your knees deeply and then find your way up to standing. Find your way to a standing position. I'm just going to move this blanket out of the way. And now find yourself standing. Give yourself another shake out here. Bring your feet out a little bit wider and start to make a little twist, letting your arms hang heavy by your sides, letting them swing around like empty coat sleeves. Just feeling some freedom now through the arms, through the upper body. Breathing. And then coming back, let that movement come to a close and just find a comfortable standing position. Close your eyes and just notice how you're feeling right now. Maybe check in, full body scan, just noticing. Bringing that awareness to the whole body. Sometimes just a little dash of awareness at any time of the day can really go a long way, because maybe you notice, oh, I'm doing this, and then you can make a little adjustment and then you might feel a little bit better. Whether you're in a exercise class or whether you're just going about your day. So open your eyes and then step your feet out wide. Take up some space. And if you like, you can create a little bit of hip movement from side to side. Just finding some movement that feels good, maybe pressing one hip forward and alternating. So let your toes point out just slightly to the sides, and then inhale, open the arms out wide, create some space, reach those fingertips out to just feel like you're taking up 4 corners of this space that you're in, reaching out. Inhale, and then exhale, let your left hand come down to the side of the left leg and continue reaching with your right arm. Maybe it just reaches up towards the ceiling. Maybe you lean over a little bit more. Keep breathing. And then inhale, come back to center. Let your arms come to shoulder height now and press those fingertips out. Flip the palms up. Feel that little expansion through the upper body. Maybe even taking the thumbs a little bit back behind you. So, you're not going to touch your thumbs behind you, but imagine that you could. And keep those ribs down. So you keep this just through the chest. And then bring them back. And then inhale and exhale. Bring your right hand down to the right side of the leg. And then lift up and over, finding some stretch here. Listen to what your body is saying. And then inhale, come up, and exhale, bring the hand down. Give a little shake. If you like, give a little bend in the knees. Make sure your toes point out, and then lift back up. And then inhale, reach the arms out wide. Exhale, and then inhale and exhale. Take your right hand to your left foot. You can bend your knees if that feels safer for how you're doing today. Reaching those other fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing here. And then inhale, slowly unwind, coming back up to center to this 5-pointed star. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Take your left hand now down towards your right foot. And reaching your other fingertips up towards the ceiling, the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, give a little bend in the knees and unwind. Coming back to 5-pointed star. You can reach out to the corners if you like, or you can bring the arms shoulder height, or you can even bring the arms down to the hips. Take a breath. Now, inhale and exhale, and let's slowly bend our knees. Bend your knees, I'll bend my knees, and we'll sink our seat down, coming into a bit of a squat, and then pressing the feet into the floor, pressing the feet away from you as if you were going to rip the mat in between your legs. Slowly press yourself back up. Let's try this again. So again, pressing the feet out, let the knees start to bend, coming out to the side. And then slowly coming back up. And once more, bending the knees, slow. Maybe letting the hands come out to the knees. And then slowly rise up. Now, heel toe your feet back in together. Give a little shake out for the legs. And then let's find our way down to the floor again. So come down to your knees, however you might like. If you'd like to have the cushion again, feel free to find that for yourself. Come back to table position. And press your palms into the floor again, pressing the floor away, finding some engagement in the shoulders, maybe bringing the arms out to the side, bending the arms, bringing the elbows out to the side, and then bringing them in, hugging them back in towards the body with the inside of the elbow facing forward, and then pressing the floor away, feeling those muscles kick on. Inhale and exhale, keeping this feeling. And when you direct the awareness into the hands, feel like you're dragging your hands away from you. So you might be trying to rip the mat away or apart in between your hands. So keeping that engaged feeling. Right now, I know I am feeling a lot of work. So if someone just happened to walk past you, they'd say, oh, you're just hanging out on your hands and knees. Except no, we're not. Let the head and neck relax, give it a little shake. So keeping this feeling here, start to take the seat back as if you were coming down into child's pose, but you probably won't come that far because you want to keep that engaged feeling through the shoulders. So you may not come all the way, and then that's okay. So then start to come back up. Are you breathing? Sit back again. And then sit forward, pressing back up. And then once more, coming back. And then hold here, wherever. Take a breath in and out. And then you can relax the arms. Let the seat come all the way back in towards the heels. Sit up for a moment. Give a little shake out. And then allow yourself to come down into child's pose. You can bring the arms out in front of you, maybe even reaching out a little bit, giving a little stretch from all that engagement we just did. Or maybe you're sick of having your arms out in front of you and you can bring them down by your side with your palms up. Whatever you decide to do, take a few breaths. Once more, in and out. And now begin to walk your hands back in towards you, helping yourself press up into an upright position. And then allow your hips to come over to one side and let your knees go over towards the right. And we'll set ourselves up like this 90-90 position with the feet and legs. So find that to begin with, but then take your left foot and leg and see if you can bring it. I'm just going to turn here so you can see if you can bring it closer in towards your butt. And then sit up from here and then bring the hands back behind you. And you can start to lower yourself back a little bit and start to feel on this side. And you may need to maneuver around a little bit, maybe even imagine that you were going to twist and start to feel a little release through the front of the leg, lowering yourself down a little bit, just exploring. Perhaps leaning away. And then pressing yourself up. Move that foot away from you so you create the 90-90 position again. And then turn your torso to face towards your right leg. And you're going to be facing the shin. And then bring your hands out in front of you. Inhale and exhale and start to lower yourself down towards the shin. Taking a few breaths here, perhaps coming to rest on your forearms, or maybe you stay up on the fingertips. Find what feels right. And then press yourself up and put your right hand down onto the ground and start to swing your legs now so they're over towards the left. So you're in this sort of side, I don't know, semi-reclined over to the side position. So if you were sitting like this, you might slump over and just have this kind of relaxed kind of position, which is okay. And you might feel your own little stretch here, but you're also hanging out just in this shoulder joint and it's giving a little bit of stress to the ligaments. So instead, press that hand in like we were doing on tabletop. Press the hand in so you feel space here and you feel like you're lifted up and you probably don't feel it quite so much anymore. So excuse me, lift yourself up. And so this might be a great place to hang out as you explore with how you're feeling the stuff in the arm. Maybe your arms are already really tired. So this is a nice place to hang out. But another thing you can try is pressing that hand in, keeping the nice space here. Can you lift your hips up a little bit, coming into a little bit of a side plank? Making sure to press the floor away from you. You can keep the hand by your side or the arm by your side, or maybe lift the arm up. Take a few breaths, coming down whenever you need. And then come on down, swing yourself into the center, give a little shake out of the wrist, a little shake out of the arms, and just give a little body shimmy. And go ahead and make the 90-90 position on the other side. So finding that 90-90 and then bringing the back foot closer in towards you. Sit back, starting to recline back a little bit, maybe even leaning over. Breathing here. Perhaps not actually coming into a twist, but just bringing the arm over. So it's probably a little bit of a twist, but. And then lift yourself up, let that leg come back out so you've got the 90-90. Face your shin. Inhale and exhale and let your torso start to come down towards the shin. And then start to press yourself up and then swing your legs over to the right side as you bring your left hand down onto the floor. And again, first explore just that kind of relaxed, just hanging out here on your side, half on your side, and then press the floor away from you, creating some space, some length. You'll start to feel your core kick on a little bit. I don't know, it feels like a lighter kind of a feeling to me. So as you press that away, you might already start to feel some engagement all through the shoulder and the arm, and maybe this is where you'd like to stay. And that's cool. Otherwise, you might like to see about lifting the hips towards the ceiling while creating that space, keeping that space in the arm. It's almost like the arm didn't even move. And so pressing the floor away from you, pressing your hips up towards the ceiling, perhaps raising the other fingertips towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, let your hips come down. Sit back, give a little shake out. Give a little shake out of the whole body. And then turn so that you are long ways on the mat and slowly start to come down to the mat. So keeping the soles of the feet on the floor, the legs bent, start to roll yourself down. Roll. See if you can make this a real slow kind of movement, little challenge, little shake. And then coming all the way down. I'm just going to reposition a little bit. Coming all the way down and bring those arms over your head, reaching the fingertips to the wall behind you and the feet to the wall in front of you. Again, wriggling again, finding some length. And then on your next exhale, bring your arms to your sides, bend your knees, bring your knees in towards your chest, and hold the opposite, or excuse me, each hand holds each leg respectively, just under the knee. Breathing here, maybe just giving a tiny little kind of wobbly nudge of a shake for the lower body. Just give it a little wiggle, a little wobble. And then let the knees come back together, roll over onto one side, letting the arms come straight out in front of you with your palms touching. And then on your next inhale, allow the top hand to glide over the bottom arm, across the chest, and open out to the side. Finding yourself now in a supine spinal twist. Take a few breaths here. Please don't mind my cat yowling in the background. He's okay. Now, on your next inhale, allow the top knee and leg to rise up towards the ceiling, and then roll all the way over onto the other side. Stacking those arms out in front of you, palms touching, and then on your next inhale, the top hand glides across the bottom arm, across the chest, opening out to the side. On your next inhale, allow the top leg, the top knee to rise towards the ceiling, letting yourself roll back onto your back. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Give your hips and shoulders a little bit of a readjustment, finding what feels comfortable. And then allow your legs to slide down, coming into our relaxation pose, our final relaxation pose of Shavasana. Letting your legs be apart so that they're not touching, and your arms are about 45 degrees from your sides with your palms facing up. Give a little roll of the head to find the right place for the back of your head. And knowing that you can also bend your knees if your low back would like a little bit of support, or if you just want to try something different today. Get yourself feeling nice and comfortable and start taking a few nice, long, slow inhales and exhales. Feeling the belly soften with each exhale. Take your awareness up to your facial muscles and start to let things relax. Feel your forehead, your brow grow smooth. All around the eyes, nose, cheeks, and jaw are just feeling comfortable and relaxed. Letting any tension just evaporate away. Take that awareness up through the rest of the head, down the back, into the neck, the front, back, and sides of the neck. Taking the awareness into your shoulders, down into your arms, your hands and fingers. Feeling your arms lying soft and heavy on the mat. Any tension disappearing. Now bring your awareness up into your shoulders again, those shoulders that did a lot of work today. Send them a little bit of love. And as they relax more and more, start to send the awareness down your spine, through your upper back and chest, your mid back and abdomen, your lower back, hips and pelvis. Feel the tension leaving your torso, leaving it soft and heavy on the floor. From your hips, start to take your awareness down your thighs, the front and back, to the knees, to the lower legs, the feet and toes. Letting any remaining tension just fall away. Feeling your legs fully relaxed. Now feeling your entire body just melting into the floor. Feeling fully at ease. Now start to deepen your breath, deepening your awareness. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And slowly start to bring a little bit more movement into your body. And start to gently roll over onto your favorite side. And after a breath or two, gently begin to press yourself back into an upright position. You can keep your eyes closed. And again, bring your hand over your heart space, perhaps stacking your hands on top of each other. Feeling that heartbeat, feeling the warmth. Perhaps thinking about something or someone that you're grateful for. And sending some love towards that person, place, or thing. And then maybe thinking of another something or someone, someplace, some quality that you feel grateful for. And send it a silent thank you. And then, because we like to do things in threes, perhaps think of one last someone, something, someplace that you're grateful for, and just send it some love, send it a thank you. Maybe feeling a little smile on your face as you just notice these things that you're grateful for. Maybe it's even you, your body. May we be free of suffering. May we have physical happiness. May we have mental happiness. May our hearts be at peace. Now, you can open your eyes, and I'm going to send you a thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today, for choosing to move your body, move your breath. And once more, thank you, and have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you again next time.